dear wine lovers, it's the 5th episode of Gvino UK. My name is Tamuka and today we are going to visit Vazisubani Estate, which is located in the village of Vazisubani in the municipality of Georgian. As you may remember, the previous episode we explored the Tel Aviv municipality, the town itself and of course Biomarani. And now it's turn to explore Georgian and the surrounding area. And we start from the symbol of Georgian. Behind my back you can see the famous monument which is called the Father of Soldier. About this person, which is actually real, was taken a famous Georgian movie. The movie is about a father who is searching a son during the World War II. In this search he finally enters in Berlin where he finally meets his son and actually explores some vineyards as well. And from here, which is kind of the symbolic to start the Georgian area, we are going to visit Akhtala resort, at the same time one of the famous monuments of architecture, the Georgian church, and finally we will end up to Vazisubani Estate. We will meet their famous winemaker Lado and taste wines with him as well. So wait for us and let's start our journey.
Let's continue our trip with Akhtala Resort, which is located opposite to the monument. Georgian is also famous with Akhtala Spa, which is well known for its mud baths of volcanic origin. You can easily find this spa, and actually if you are searching some exceptional spa experience, then you definitely need to visit this place. After Akhtala Resort, we continue our trip to Georgian church, which is located just 10 minutes drive from Georgian. Exceptional monument of Georgian Assumption of the Virgin Mary is constructed in 8th to 9th centuries. Let's say this church is really an unusual monument for Georgian architecture, for it's the only extant example of two-domed church in the country. This is a must-visited place for art and architecture lovers. Despite its architectural importance, the area is free of tourists and the relaxing walk from the parking creates the meditative mood. After covering all the main attractions of Georgian, it's time to visit our main wine destination, Vazisubani Estate. I'm super excited to visit the estate, meet their famous winemaker Lado and learn more about the philosophy of the estate.
And finally we arrived to Vazisubani Estate, which is located in Vazisubani village. And you know, I can sit here whole day and look at that amazing view behind me. However, I think Vazisubani Estate really deserves to be heard by many wine lovers, which is one of the most popular tourism and wine destinations in Kakheti. This represents around 35-hectare vineyards around the whole estate and amazing parkland with different species of trees and varieties. So here is the story. Actually, the estate history started in 1891 by Sultan Javjavadze. He was a famous nobleman and a pioneer winemaker who decided to build this estate and planted Georgian grape varieties around it. However, the estate history was not always so bright and it had some bad times as well. But in 2013, the private investors, Mamuk Akhazaradze and Badri Japaridze, decided to regain the traditions back. And look at the estate now. It represents one of the successful destinations with excellent wines, delicious cuisine, gastronomic experiences and amazing hospitality. And finally, it's time to move to the winery, explore the vinification room and of course meet their famous winemaker Lado Zunashvili. So let's go meet him and learn more about the Vazisubani Estate wines. So here here we are in the vinification room, and behind me you can see these huge stainless steel tanks which are used for classic winemaking method for whites and reds as well. You can do their alcoholic fermentation as well as the wine stabilization. And what's interesting in Vazisubani Estate is that you can taste their wines from classic modern winemaking line as well as the traditional Georgian quarry wines. And I think it's up to you to decide which wine styles are the best or which wine style goes for you. But actually about the wine talks, I think it's the best to learn more about the wine philosophy and actually Vazisubani wines from their main winemaker Lado Zunashvili, who is waiting us, and let's go meet him and learn his opinion about Vazisubani itself. Dear wine lovers, I talked a lot about Lado Zunashvili, the famous winemaker of Vazisubani Estate, and finally he's in front of us and I'm interested to ask him the first question. Lado, what is Vazisubani Estate for you?
Vazisubani Estate is one of the few most famous centers of winemaking in Georgia, with very deep historic roots and standing on some really strong legacy. Beginning from the mid-19th century, this center has been producing absolutely outstanding, exquisite wines, reflecting this, as we always say, best terroir, Mukuzani terroir, in which Vazisubani Estate is located. Plus, the history of this place is somewhat continuation of age-old traditions and bridging these last centuries into the modernity, which means that we thoroughly adhere to the traditions of ancient techniques of winemaking, as well as we are one of the most modern wine producers in the country. So we have both directions, traditional quarry winemaking as well as the modern wines. And the varieties in our vineyards, which we selected for production, they do allow us to produce those wines in an array which is, I would say, unparalleled in the country.
Thank you. And one more question, because I'm interested which wine would you recommend to our audience to taste? Or maybe there are several wines of Vazisubani Estate they should definitely taste.
I'd rather offer you a philosophy of tasting, how you would understand what Vazisubani is doing. Because we are traditional as well as modern winemakers and we have both directions, why don't we take the same varieties, same year, from the same vineyards, but split into two different batches, and one made in a traditional way and the other one made in a modern way. That will give you an absolute understanding how the wine evolved throughout these 8,000 years, and that's going to be kind of connection point between the past and the modernity.
Amazing advice. I would love to do that.
Please do enjoy our wines.
So maybe next time when we visit Vazisubani Estate, we will definitely make this amazing tasting. And dear wine audience, I would take Lado's advice, buy some wines from Vazisubani Estate and definitely try the tasting which he advised to us. So let's go grab the wines and do the tasting. We highly recommend it.